I'd like to welcome you to our presentation entitled The Secret to Cardiovascular Health. Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to share with you one of the major keys to achieving good cardiovascular health. This is life-saving information and has the potential to positively impact your health and the health of your loved ones. I've specifically titled this presentation The Secret to Cardiovascular Health because 95% of the adult population has never heard of this life-changing information. Yet the reality is, this is not a secret at all, or at least it shouldn't be. Why? Because the 1998 Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded to 3 American researchers who discovered how this one organ in your body actually determines most of your cardiovascular health. When I say this, people think I'll be talking about their heart. And while your heart is critical to your health, there is another organ that actually plays an even greater role in determining your overall cardiovascular health and function. That secret organ is called the endothelium. Your endothelium is only 1 cell thick, but it lines the inside of your heart. The inside of all your arteries and arterioles, veins and venules are lined by this 1 cell thick organ, and your capillaries are just extensions of the endothelium. Research over the last 10 years has clearly shown the endothelium to be a multifunctional organ involved in metabolic, immunologic, and cardiovascular functions. One of those functions is to convert the amino acid L-arginine into nitric oxide, the master signaling molecule of your entire cardiovascular system. And if you gathered all your endothelial cells together, they would have the combined weight of your liver. To help you better understand this amazing organ, let's look at the key functions it provides to your cardiovascular system. The first one is angiogenesis, or the formation of new capillary beds. This is necessary for wound healing and critical in helping to limit the damage from a heart attack or stroke. Your endothelium facilitates blood flow and is involved in both the prevention of blood clots through nitric oxide as well as helping your blood to clot. Your endothelial cells are the controlling factor in the regulation of your blood pressure. And your endothelium provides a specialized barrier function to regulate the passage of gases, fluids, and various molecules across their membrane. This plays an extremely important function for each organ as well as your immune system. Most vascular researchers now believe it's your endothelium that ultimately determines the health of your cardiovascular system. And one function of the endothelium is to produce a gas called nitric oxide. This is so important to your cardiovascular health that the 1998 Nobel Prize in Medicine was awarded to 3 American researchers who discovered how your endothelium converts the amino acid L-arginine into nitric oxide, the master signaling molecule of your entire cardiovascular system. One of these Nobel laureates is Dr. Louis J. Ignarro, who wrote a national bestseller called No More Heart Disease. I'd like to focus on the subtitle of his book. It says, quote, How Nitric Oxide Can Prevent, Even Reverse Heart Disease and Strokes, end of quote. That's not me saying this. This is a Nobel Prize winner in medicine clearly stating to us that nitric oxide can prevent and even reverse heart disease and strokes. I'd like to read to you 2 short quotes from Dr. Ignarro's book. Here's the first one. Though NO's structure is simple, nitric oxide is now regarded as the most significant molecule in the body, absolutely critical to your well-being. I am convinced that nitric oxide can age-proof your cardiovascular system, keeping it much fitter than your chronological age would indicate, end of quote. And the second one is this. Now we know we can reverse cardiovascular impairment naturally with the body's internally manufactured wonder drug, nitric oxide, end of quote. Additionally, Dr. John Cook, the director of vascular medicine at Stanford University, published a book called The Cardiovascular Cure. Notice his subtitle, How to Strengthen Your Self-Defense Against Heart Attack and Stroke. Who wouldn't want to do that? Dr. Cook goes on to say the following. This book will introduce you to the magic that is inside your blood vessels. It comes in the shape of a molecule, one of the simplest molecules found in nature. This molecule is nitric oxide, or NO, a substance so powerful that it can actually protect you from heart attack and stroke. Best of all, your body can make it on its own. Nitric oxide is your body's own built-in natural protection against heart disease. End of quote. So let's have a brief review so that we understand the significance of this information. Your endothelium lines the inside of all your cardiovascular system. We've already covered some of its health-enhancing functions, but the one that earned a Nobel Prize was its ability to produce a gas called nitric oxide from the amino acid L-arginine. Nitric oxide is the master signaling molecule of your entire cardiovascular system and is absolutely critical for proper cardiovascular health and function. But before we talk about some of the specific functions of nitric oxide, I'd like to put this slide on the screen. 77% of people treated for a first stroke had high blood pressure. 69% of people who have a first heart attack have high blood pressure. 74% of people with congestive heart failure have high blood pressure. And 66% of people with diabetes have high blood pressure. As you can clearly see, high blood pressure is a common ailment of all four of these cardiovascular health issues. Additionally, a blood clot formation that lodges in a vascular artery is usually the reason for a stroke or heart attack. The vast majority of these diseases are a result of endothelial cell dysfunction and its inability to properly produce nitric oxide. This information helps us to identify three keys to solving most cardiovascular health issues. They are controlling blood pressure, preventing blood clots, and reversing endothelial cell dysfunction. Here's how nitric oxide directly addresses each of these keys. First, nitric oxide is your body's most powerful vasodilator. What this means is that nitric oxide causes the smooth muscle of your vascular wall to relax, which helps to keep your blood pressure in a normal range. That would directly benefit our first key of controlling blood pressure. Second, nitric oxide keeps blood platelet cells from sticking together to naturally prevent blood clots. This would reduce the number one cause of strokes and heart attacks and directly address our second key. Third, nitric oxide helps to repair damage done to the endothelium and keep it free from plaque formations and calcification. Plaque formation results in a disease called atherosclerosis, and calcification results in a disease called arterial sclerosis. If you go on the American Heart Association's website, they will state that 74% of all cardiovascular disease is related to atherosclerosis, plaque formations within the arteries, and arterial sclerosis, calcification or hardening of the arteries. Proper levels of nitric oxide help to prevent both of these issues, and it directly addresses the last key of helping to reverse endothelial cell dysfunction. So how does your endothelium create this nitric oxide? Well, there are two important amino acids needed. They are L-arginine and L-citrulline. Your endothelium directly converts L-arginine into nitric oxide, but it needs a certain level. Here is a direct quote from Dr. Ignarro. My research shows that L-arginine in doses smaller than 4 to 6 grams produces almost zero increase in nitric oxide. So it is in essence an all or nothing proposition. You must receive the full dose of L-arginine. End of quote. For you to get what we call a therapeutic increase in nitric oxide, you need to consume 4 to 6 grams of L-arginine at one time, or an average of about 5 grams. Additionally, you also need the amino acid L-citrulline. While L-citrulline doesn't directly produce nitric oxide, what it does is recycles L-arginine so that your endothelium can continue to produce nitric oxide over an extended period of time. Again, according to Dr. Ignarro, it is the synergy between the L-arginine in a large enough dose, the L-citrulline, and the key antioxidants that creates dramatic increases in your body's nitric oxide production. Without the proper combination of these nutrients, which so many other programs lack, you will receive little to no benefit from nitric oxide therapy. End of quote. Once people understand how critically important this is to their cardiovascular health, they typically want to know how they can bring these two amino acids into their body. So let's talk nutrition, for it's key to nourishing your endothelium. The first amino acid is L-arginine. As you can see by the PowerPoint slide, I've listed some common food sources in which to obtain this amino acid. Let me make a few general comments. Most research indicates that for you to receive a therapeutic benefit from L-arginine, you need to consume at least 5 grams of this amino acid at one time. So I selected 6 food items that I thought would be common food choices. I did the math conversions to look at how much food you would need to eat to take in 5 grams of L-arginine. I also looked at the number of calories and grams of fat it would bring into your body. As you can see by the slide, peanuts provide the smallest quantity of food, but they pack on 70 grams of fat and 918 calories. When you examine the slide, you can see that the 3 best choices are beans, tuna, or chicken breast. 1 can of beans, or 2 cans of tuna, or almost 1 pound of chicken are needed on a daily basis. For L-citrulline, you only have one good food choice, which is watermelon. Unfortunately, 60% of the L-citrulline is contained in the rind portion, which people typically throw away. So unless you juice the entire watermelon, most people do not get adequate amounts of L-citrulline to help turbocharge their endothelium's ability to properly produce nitric oxide. Which brings us to this question. Is it better to get these amino acids through food or supplementation? If you choose supplementation, then one of the best is Pro-Arginine Plus from Synergy Worldwide. In fact, many believe it's the best nitric oxide supplement in the marketplace. It has been intentionally designed to help nourish your endothelium to help it properly produce nitric oxide for improved cardiovascular health and function. Pro-Arginine Plus contains both L-arginine and L-citrulline at the needed levels to help turbocharge your endothelium's ability to produce nitric oxide over an extended period of time. In addition to the L-arginine and L-citrulline, Pro-Arginine Plus also includes the following ingredients. I'm not going to go into detail about each ingredient, but I would like to highlight 2, which will help you better understand the science that went into the design of this product. I want to highlight vitamins D3 and K2. You need vitamin D3 to help your body properly absorb calcium. You need vitamin K2 to help your body properly direct where calcium goes. Calcium is extremely important for your body, not just for bone health, but also for a wide variety of cellular reactions, one of which is the creation of nitric oxide. Let me use the following illustration to help you understand the importance of calcium in nitric oxide production. If you walk into a dark room and you want the lights on, you flip the switch on the wall. If you look at nitric oxide as the light, the wiring in the wall as the enzymatic process the endothelium uses to create nitric oxide, and L-arginine as the electricity, then the switch is calcium. Calcium starts the reaction. Vitamin D3 and vitamin K2 help to regulate your calcium levels in your bloodstream so that this reaction can properly take place. The reason why Pro-Arginine Plus is so effective is because of the science and manufacturing expertise that has gone into the development of this product. Pro-Arginine Plus is manufactured by Nature's Sunshine Products and distributed by Synergy Worldwide. Nature's Sunshine is 40 years old. They are one of the most respected nutritional manufacturers in the world. Both Synergy and Nature's Sunshine have received the NSF Good Manufacturing Certification, which means that they meet the highest standards in the nutrition industry for quality assurance and control. The manufacturing process to create the proprietary formulation of Pro-Arginine Plus is second to none. A total of 262 tests are conducted along the various stages of manufacturing to ensure the highest quality and potency of the ingredients used. This level of quality is reflected in the people who are associated with this product. On the screen is Dr. J. Joseph Prendergast, considered by many to be one of the leading authorities in the world on the use of L-arginine for the treatment of cardiovascular concerns. Dr. Joe has been using L-arginine, L-citrulline therapy since 1991 to help his diabetic patients experience phenomenal results. Dr. Joe contributed his 20 years of practical experience and research with nutritional scientists at Nature's Sunshine to develop the Pro-Arginine Plus formulation. What also makes Pro-Arginine Plus unique in the nutrition industry is that it has clinical application and studies to back up its effectiveness. The High Desert Heart Institute is located in Victorville, California, and is considered one of the premier heart institutes in the world. In late 2009, they did a human clinical study using Progeny Plus. In fact, it is the most complete and comprehensive human clinical study ever done on a nutritional supplement. This study involved 33 congestive heart failure patients who were all medically and pharmaceutically managed to the maximum. Over a 90-day period, these patients were given an aggressive amount of Progeny Plus, and by the end of 90 days, all patients had their medications substantially reduced. Dr. Siva Arusalam, who is the director and founder of the High Desert Heart Institute, made the following statement in a recent interview. What we ended up seeing was remarkable positive remodeling of the heart, positive pulmonary artery changes, pulmonary vascular changes in terms of pulmonary pressures, changes in cardiac dimensions, changes in heart function. End of quote. Because of these remarkable changes to their patients, the High Desert Heart Institute uses Progeny Plus as part of their standard treatment program for their patients. And they continue to do ongoing cardiovascular studies using this highly effective product. So what does all this information mean to you? Well, a healthy endothelium equals a healthy cardiovascular system. The health of your endothelium and its ability to properly produce nitric oxide can potentially reduce your risk for high blood pressure, cholesterol concerns, diabetic complications, and other cardiovascular issues. We believe Progeny Plus can help you combat the negative effects of premature cardiovascular aging while helping you maintain healthy blood pressure and normal blood sugar levels. Since most of your life revolves around your cardiovascular system, any improvements typically result in improved cell, tissue, and organ function. Additionally, Progeny Plus comes with a 90-day money-back guarantee. When you factor in ingredients, price, quality assurance, clinical studies, and the money-back guarantee, Progeny Plus has the best value at an extremely competitive price. This leaves us with a final question. Are you ready to experience the health benefits of Progeny Plus by taking our 90-day health challenge with an unconditional money-back guarantee? If your answer is yes, then please contact me. I can help you properly start on this excellent product. I've placed my contact information on the screen. I'm part of a team whose mission is to help save 1 million lives. I'll work with you to help you properly nourish your endothelium for improved nitric oxide production, leading to improved cardiovascular health. Please call me if you have any questions about this remarkable product.